I know sometimes people get the idea that you have to be really specialized and really knowledgeable to have an effect on business. And while it is sometimes true, I disagree with some of that. I was recently following some guys who were talking about Napoleon Hill, the writer. There's a lot written about him. He's kind of a interesting guy. He wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. A lot of people know about it. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of people who criticize it, which is cool. You can criticize whatever you want. But I also think that they miss the point of the story. There's a part of it that he talks about Henry T. Ford, and he goes into pretty good detail in the book, and you can read about that. I guess to surmise it, Henry Ford sued the Chicago Times, and when he brought them to court, he was being questioned about an issue, and the newspaper to discredit him, the newspaper attorneys to discredit Henry Ford, asked him a bunch of questions about American history, which he did not know the answer. And the reason for that was he was not very educated. I think from the standpoint of education, I think I'm actually more educated than him. I finished the 8th grade. I don't think he finished the 8th. I think he finished like the 3rd or the 4th. And he didn't really care about what they were asking him, so he wasn't interested in it. I do know some of these questions, like, I didn't know how many soldiers the British sent in the 1776 revolution, but I did know who Benedict Arnold was. So they asked him some questions. He basically didn't know the answer. And then they were like, look, you're a fool. And his answer to them was, I'm not a fool. I have a desk in my office, and on that desk are a bunch of buttons. And when I push a button, I can have an expert come in, depending on what problem I'm trying to answer. I have a row of buttons, and I'll push the button, say for taxes, and boom, the guy from tax expert comes in and is like, what's up, Henry? And I run my business using those expert opinions, so I don't fill up my brain with useless general knowledge. I'm kind of the opposite of that. I fill up my brain with useless general knowledge, and I don't specialize. Instead, I try to find specialists. So I guess him and I differ on that a little bit. Maybe I should switch to Ford's method. But the point of the story is that Napoleon Hill was pointing out how Henry Ford got rich as his method. Not so much that Napoleon Hill was a genius and he himself was rich and you should follow him because of the way he was. It was more he was studying rich people, and in his study of rich people, he was finding things that other people could execute to become rich if that's what you so desire.